We're talking about business.
Times in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me, we are not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long.
Get this party started. All right.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Where's now? You see, when I was a youngster, about 10 years old, I played that song. That's not true. I was
Wait, no, Aaron, how old are you?
10.
old enough to know better.
I mean, so I'm 62.
68 in a week.
Okay, so when this record came out, I was 10. because
Okay. Oh, you talking
because
about the
Bill
Bill
Withers
Withers,
did it in
right?
1972.
Absolutely.
So I was 10, and when this record came out, you were 16.
Okay then.
So so really, it was still in your wheelhouse. When I was
Yes.
10, my favorite record was "Where Is the Love" by Roberta Flack
You see?
and Donny Hathaway.
All right. Now that was a classic. That was a classic. In case you don't know, this is we don't have a name yet, but we're moving on. Podcast.
That's the name of the show.
That is the name of the show. I am Aaron Boyce, and you are.
Your boss, I am Tonya Mack.
Okay. Now we're going to pretend that we don't even hear this gentleman speaking right now because he would be on the mic. But hey, he is the J. King. So
The indomitable. Can we add some adjectives?
Oh,
the indomitable.
indomitable. Yeah, but can you spell it?
Of course not. I use spell check.
Okay.
That's what it's for, right?
Okay. Now, the song "Lean on Me."
Love it.
Tonya, I need you to lean on me. Help me out a bit. Okay. I can see. I gotta be careful now. Okay. If I use any of those three words, okay, it might come up. So I gotta be careful.
I think I enjoyed it.
Okay. Let's try it. Lean
On.
me. Okay. Anyway.
Love it.
Anyway, did you know that I am a comedian?
I know you think you're a comedian.
Exactly. Exactly. And honestly, we're going to put that to the test.
Let's do it.
Well, I have a bucket list. And I'm checking my bucket list, swimming with sharks, still unchecked. Okay. Going into a lion cage, still unchecked. And getting on stage and doing comedy.
You're joking.
I'm
You're
not,
going to do stand-up.
I'm not joking. Yes.
When?
Right here at Flower Square. Don't have a date yet. Don't have a date yet, but I got material.
Please tell me you're just saying this for the show and that you're playing. Please
Oh no.
Really?
Now the nice thing about a bucket list is this. I'm not even worried about whether I'm going to be booed off stage or whether I'm gonna be like, wow. I don't know. It's not on my radar. What's my radar is that I want to check that box. Woo.
Okay. All righty.
You gonna be there?
What else would I do with my tomatoes? I compost, but I do.
Well, my old wife said my old wife now says she'll be sure to bring the vegetables.
Well, doggone
Okay.
it. Leah can sit right next to me.
I tell you, where is the love here? Okay, but anyway, it's gonna happen.
Well, you know that
gonna
you
happen.
can lean
On?
Me.
Okay. Now, the reason why this is important, because we have a guest here who, although he is the esteemed president of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, he is also a premier entertainer who understands the rules of business and being on stage, and I don't think he knows. I don't think he's experienced being booed. I don't think so.
You can't be on stage and not experience being
Okay,
booed.
Okay. So
You've
there
gotten
it is.
booed before?
Of course.
He said, "Of course." See?
I mean, you
No,
know,
I find that surprising.
no, I mean, listen. This is a business. Anything can go wrong. Sometimes the sound is bad.
Yep.
Sometimes the show is late. Promoter is janky. People boo.
Yes.
And then you happen to be the one that get the brunt of the booing. That's the way the Tootsie rolls.
I was going to ask you. I was about to say Tootsie Roll since we
That was-
had a little.
Okay.
That was my record. That was one of my records. 1.5 million singles, 1.5 million albums,
Okay.
$25 million worth of business in 18 months, all independently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And that is what makes this special. He said all independently. You know, and he did it before it became a thing, because now a lot of people are going independent.
Well, we were at the beginning of it when we did Rumors. We were the first group in the modern music business that was an R&B group to take an independent record #1 without a major distributor, without a major label, without major dollars. When we defied the odds when we released Rumors from right here in Sacramento. 3.5 million singles in the United States alone. The biggest selling 12-inch that year. So we won the NARM for 12-inch of the year and biggest selling 12-inch.
You know what I find interesting, and you can speak on this, Jay, is that young people, everybody thinks that they can rap or they can sing or they can dance. You know what I mean? And then there is that chosen few. And honestly, I don't think it's all about hard work. Sometimes, unless I'm wrong, sometimes it's just the luck of being in the right place or talking to the right person. Tell me.
That's where you're wrong.
Tell me.
It's hard work.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work to get to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work to be at the right place at the right time. It's not by happenstance that you get to be at the right place at the right time. You've worked your way around people who either believe in you, believe in your talent, believe in your attitude and your personality and your work ethic. And so they will open doors for you, or they will give you a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that because I was a hard worker, there were people that wanted to see me win that helped. And I was focused. You know, I'm a non-drinker, non-smoker, non-drugger, non-clubber. I've never been high before. So you got to have that kind of focus. And I think in today's world, things can happen today that couldn't happen yesterday. Like today, you can do it all. Today, you can be a philanthropist who wants to feed hungry folk, and then a podcaster and a comedian, and all of them you can be successful in. We live in a world now where we know that there's so much money out there that everybody can have some. It's enough money for everybody to have some. We know it because there are people in the world with hundreds of billions of dollars. As a matter of fact, the CEO of NVIDIA has $100 billion. So we know that possibilities are endless. We didn't know that before. We were told that we could only do certain things at certain times. So an actor couldn't be a singer. A singer couldn't be an athlete. An athlete couldn't be a businessman. But now one person can be all those things.
Jay, wouldn't you, though, you agree or disagree that there's still only a certain amount of free space for a singer or a dancer or an actor, you know?
No, I don't.
Okay, tell me.
Do you know
I'm getting schooled a lot today, so this is good.
do you know that to have a platinum album, you have to sell to 1/3 of 1% of the population? In order to sell 1 million units, you have to sell to 1/3 of 1% of the population to sell 1 million. But if you sold 100,000 units, and let's just say for each of those units you receive $1, and you sold 100,000 units, you'd have $100,000 just from selling 100,000 units at $1 a piece. And then from those 100,000 units, if you said, you know what, I'm going to do 20 shows a year, and from those 20 shows a year, you received $3,500. That's another $70,000. Now you're at $170,000. And then if you said, you know what, I'm going to tell T-shirts as well, and you sold 1,000 T-shirts for $20. Now you have $20,000. Now you're at $190,000. And you did it all in this little ecosystem that you created that nobody else knows. Just the people that listen to you and love you. So the beautiful thing about the world is everybody gets to create their own ecosystem. The problem is most people don't believe it. Most people don't marry themselves to possibility. They hinder themselves with the impossible.
Did you hear that? No, wait, did you hear that? They hindered themselves with the impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, now. This is Mr. J. King, Club Nouveau, musician, entertainer, president of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, dropping dimes, talking to us about stuff that we need to know. And we ain't talking about just young people. We're talking about anybody with a dream.
Listen, Joe Levy was 50 years old when he sent me a song called I Heart You. And I asked him who was the guy singing. And he's listened to a podcast that I'm doing on the music business called The Music Business, The Way I See It. He sends me this record, and he wants to give it to somebody. I said, who's singing? And he said, I am. And I said, why don't you record it? He said, man, I'm 50. I'm old. Can I cuss on this podcast?
No, sir.
Oh.
No, sir. But thank you for asking.
And I said, Negro, I'm 50. You saying I'm too old. And I cussed him out. Because there was no way he was going to actually make a record because he had already made it impossible. And so I hooked him up with Derek Allen. Derek Allen produced the record. The record was called I Heart You. Joe Levy now has had some #1 records in other parts of the world, has done dates, has a beautiful voice, has built a loyal fan base and audience. And now he's 62. And he's still performing. So, I think we've been so married to victimhood as black folk that we don't know how not to be victims. You ever see the thing where people say, the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer?
Yeah.
And we automatically put ourselves in the poor. When they say the rich are going to get richer, I'll be like, damn, I'm going to make more money? I don't know what I can't do. I don't marry myself to any ideas that have to do with can't.
See, now, I love that statement so much. I don't know what I can't do. You know, to me, that is a sign of any successful person. They don't know what they can't do, and therefore they do it. You know, I can't tell you how many people have told me I can't do something after I've done it. You know, like, oh, Aaron, you can't do that. I'm like, I just did it. You know, and yet they are adamant in their telling me, and they'll tell me why. They'll give me chapter and verse about why it can't be done. So I do feel you on that. My question is, to be successful, how much of a visionary do you need to be? Or do you just need to surround yourself with visionaries?
I don't know. Visionary is a word that people use and make. I don't think you have to be any of that. I don't think you have to be around any of that. Do you believe in you or not? So you can say you believe in you, but if nothing you do proves out that you believe in you, then all you're doing is lying to yourself. You don't believe in you. You don't trust you. You don't want to work hard for you. Most people talk about it. We have been conditioned to believe that our greatness is somewhere else, that great things can happen. The greatness that we are is inside of all of us. There's not a person on the planet that don't have great attributes that they can use to create the value that they look for. I don't chase money. I am money. So we have to get out of the idea of chasing dollars. When you see small business owners and you wonder why 96% of African American small business owners are sole proprietors that generate less than $100,000 or less than $35,000 a year, and they're called micro or mini micro business owners, it's because that's how they see themselves. I know it because of the process and procedures that they operate by, which ensures that they're going to be minimalized. When you can't tell me you're a business owner when you're looking for the next grant. If you're looking for grant, that means you're looking for free money. And real business owners are money generators, not money seekers. So you can't have it both ways. Mm-hmm. And we're not very honest. For us to be church-going people, you know how we always say, we just good people. No, we're not. We're liars. We lie a lot about who we are and how we believe in us and how we support us. We don't support us. When you see small business owners, and you wonder why 96% of American small business owners are.
Okay, there you go. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, well, our communities are worse off today than they were 50 years ago. We're more dangerous to us today than we were 20 years ago. So we can't even be successful and want to live in a community that is black or brown for fear of being robbed or killed. Right now, we have small business owners that are barely making it, that are in our communities. But we'll still rob them. We'll still steal from them. So until we're ready to have a real honest conversation about who and what we are, we're going to keep going around this mulberry bush. I'm not married to the world like that, so I don't concern myself with it. I divorced myself from the world a long time ago. The people that are around me are people that believe in possibilities.
So Jay saying that this is an excellent time to talk about that. On July 27th, we're having our 4th annual Small Business Success Summit. And although it's for the community, it is for persons of color, right? Tonya Mack, you are one of the speakers, and we're very happy about that.
I am.
It's been sponsored by California Black Chamber of Commerce, and we're very happy about that. Yeah, there it is. We have all sorts of panels. Then let me try to grab some of my panels out here. I got some paperwork here, and that's not it. So here we go. Wrong pocket. Let's see if I go into the right pocket now. So we have to the panels, marketing and social media, process and procedures, starting and maintaining a healthy business. That one came from Jay, I might say. We have contracting opportunities, business and banking, artificial intelligence and how it can help your business, nonprofits 101, and then Nehemiah Emerging Leadership Program. They got a panel where they're putting together their own group of experts. We're trying to field a youth entrepreneurs panel as well. So we'll see how that goes. But Jay, this event is designed to bring that focus to people who are starting a business, thinking about starting a business, have been in business for many a year. You've done that with the inclusivity program.
Yes.
You know, so can you tell me, out of these, if you can, maybe pick out one or two that you think? I think that's a hard question. To me, they're all valuable. But if you would recommend somebody to attend one or two, which one would you recommend?
I would say all of them.
Yeah.
But based on where you are, not everybody's in the same space. You know, women in business, of course, if I was a woman, I would say, or if I knew a woman, I would say you need to be at Women in Business, because there would be women. Women have a unique road to travel in business as they do in the world because of the sexism that exists in the business sector, irrespective of where and what it is. Business women have to prove themselves times 5.
Yeah.
So for a woman in business or a woman struggling in business to see a panel of women that are in business or have been in business that are speaking to some of the issues that they may be speaking to, going through at that time, I think it's important. But the reason why you have panels is because of the need of the information for small business. These are all solid panels, so I would not pick one over the other. I would say to the people that are going, assess your business and where you are right now, and then look at the panelists, the panel list, and from 1 to 9, what's most important, what's least important, and try to get to the top 3 or top 4.
Yep. Yeah, without a doubt. And I know, Ms. Mack, that you have a love of nonprofits. And so I've asked you to come as the expert of experts. Blah, blah, blah. That'd be you, including that sound, to talk to people about what?
Well, I think people who do know me in the community know that I've been a grant writer for over 30 years. So a lot has, I've had some real lessons learned, some of them at the expense of my time and my energy working with people. But I think that one of the things that I love about Grants 101 and having that conversation with people is helping people to understand when and how to be grant ready. I think that is the part where we start, because far too frequently people think money is the solution when really it is not. It is, if you're not ready, if you are not grant ready, you have no business paying anyone to be your grant writer. If your board is not ready to sit in those seats and help bring revenue to your organization, you need different butts in different seats. That is the responsibility of the board. If you don't have an exit strategy, you have no business starting a nonprofit. You need to understand how, when it ends, when it sunsets, when is your time up? You need to understand what is founder syndrome and what does that bring to the table, and how does that hurt your organization when you have a leader who does not know how to lead from the back. I'll say it again.
Wow. Now, you know, what's interesting about what Tonya's saying, she said when leadership doesn't know how to sunset, a lot of times we start these nonprofits and we think we own them.
Say that, Jay.
And we don't. You know, I'm the president of the California Black Chamber. I don't own the California Black Chamber. And I'm not going to be the president forever. It's my job right now to start preparing for who's going to take my place.
That's right.
And so, but when the person who steps into my seat, my job is to ensure that he or she steps into a healthy organization that has a strong financial fiber, that has assets, that has a direction that it can go in until he or she figures out what they want to do with it, because it's on course to do exactly what it's supposed to do. If you have an organization that stops and starts with you, you don't have an organization. If something happened to me today, if I left this building and died on my way home, the California Black Chamber runs. There are people that are going to run the California Black Chamber, because you have to be smart enough to know how dumb you are. So you put smart people around you. And in order to be a great chief, you really have to be a phenomenal Indian, which means you have to learn how to let chiefs chief.
Jay, before these nuggets that you're dropping, man, I'm going to ask, where can I find your book?
That's interesting. A lot of people write books because they think that they're supposed to, but you got to do something. I haven't done nothing.
Stop it. Stop it.
Listen, so you know why there's so many books that haven't been read? Because there's so many people that think they're more important than they actually are, and that people really want to, and that there's a lot of people that want to hear them. They don't. When it's time for me to write a book, I'll know it, because
I'm sure I'm not the only
will tell me.
person who asked you, where is your book?
And everybody that asks me, I'm like, wah, 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 wah. It sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher to me. Wah, 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 wah.
You know, I wouldn't ask you, Mr. King, where's your book? I would ask you, where are your mentees? Because that legacy that you're leaving, you are seeding someone. You are planting this into somebody's
people
plural.
who listen. I mean, you know, I have a whole. I do a podcast every morning. I have a whole bunch of folk that listen and that understand. Some people that debate it. Some people that love it. Some people that walk in it. If I had my druthers right now, I would be the president of the chamber for another 3 to 5 years, and then Kevin Daniels would be the president of the California Black Chamber, because I know that Kevin Daniels would be better than me at it, because he understands the space much more than I do. I'm not natural to the nonprofit space. I'm a money maker. I know how to make money. And the nonprofit space is different. And it's about grants and RFPs and such. So I had to learn how to do that work. But what I did do is I took a business model and incorporated it into the model that exists to make it more comfortable for me. It's why the chamber right now has about $3.5 million in assets as it relates to land. If you go on Del Paso Boulevard in El Camino and you're right in that parking lot there, you see a Bank of America sign with an ATM. That's our ATM. We own that ATM because we own that lot. If you go on Main Street in Woodland right now and you see a sign that's about a building, we're building affordable housing in Woodland because we own half a city block because of the advocating we did for Paul Petrovich. He gifted us $1.5 million in property and a block. We're building a economic center from a old school that we're trading for some property that we own in Jackson County. The way that happens is a business guy looks at his organization from a business lens, understanding that there are other attributes that I have from a nonprofit standpoint that give me different type of cover. So by the time Kevin Daniel walks into this job, he'll walk into a healthy company that has a healthy bank account, that has healthy assets, and he'll be able to hire me as a consultant.
I want to talk.
To make sure that the relationships that I've built, he gets to glean from them until I drift into the sunset, and then he'll do the same thing, and one day he'll be the consultant, and the same thing will happen. That's how it's supposed to happen. But that's not how it happens with black organizations.
So can you share some information about the California Black Chamber of Commerce? Because a lot of people get it confused with local, you know? And so how many chambers approximately are associated with the California Black Chamber of Commerce throughout the state?
There's 26 chambers, 26 to 30. But if you ask me how many I believe are functional chambers that can do the work that the people require, I'm going to tell you between 6 and 8. Because you can't tell me as a chamber that you can do good work and you don't have employees. You don't have the capacity to help small business owners, whether it's from a resource standpoint or information standpoint or membership standpoint. So we have a lot of non-functional organizations that have hurt our business community. Now, what we have to take into account is this. When you look at this country and you look at the criminality that has taken place against African-American small businesses, I'm talking about the racism, the bigotry, the prejudice, and the bias that's been exacted by the government, not people, but the whole government, against black business. The reason why black business has the hardest time to build up is because of all of the different sectors of a black community. It's the only sector that was completely decimated from the foundation. We talk about academia and education. All they did was kept us out of it. But they didn't destroy the foundation of us. We still excelled. When you talk about athletics and arts, they kept us out of it. But we still excelled. When you talk about the workplace, the workforce, the same. But when you talk about small business, what they did to black townships and black communities was decimated the business entities, the foundation of them. You look at Georgia, and they flooded them. You look at Alabama, Mississippi, they burned them down. You look at the Carolinas, you look at Tennessee, they ran them out. You look at Florida, they murdered them. Ocoee, Florida was owned mostly by black men. They were they had more money than anybody. But when black folk wanted to vote, when they could vote again, they burned the whole city down. They burned all the black folk out and took all the wealth. That was in 1921. Black folk didn't move back to Ocoee, Florida until 1981, 60 years. So we have to understand that when it comes to black businesses and infrastructure, the criminality that was exacted against the foundation of black business can never be understated. But we have to know that. So when we go in business, we have to recognize the weight that we're carrying on our shoulders.
So
and
true.
if you're ready to do it, if you're ready to sacrifice, if you're ready to work hard enough to make sure that that weight don't weigh you down. And that's not what we do. There's an 80% chance that every black business that's starting right now today will be out of business in 18 months. And a 96% chance that they'll be out of business in 3 years.
So let me ask you this. Why should we, as black business owners, join the California Black Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I mean, I think, we're a resource center. We're an information center. We're a strong voice. We're an advocate. I can give you an example. There's a small hamburger stand called Hawkins Burgers. You ever heard of them? No. No, you haven't. Because they're in Southern California. They're in Watts. Grandfather built it in 1939. They've been serving the community of Watts since 1939. They say it's the best burger in Southern California. And they, the grandfather, they were building the 105 or one of the freeways, and they told them that that he had to move. They wanted to buy his property. He said, "You're gonna buy my property. You can't buy my property. I'm not selling it. The only way I'm gonna leave here is in a pine box." So they built the freeway around his property. And there was some property adjacent to his that Caltrans bought in 1972. So just in case you don't understand mathematics, that's 33 years later. In 2016, Caltrans decides that it wants to sell this property that's adjacent to Hawkins Burgers. And Caltrans says to Hawkins Burgers, "Do you want to buy the property?" And Hawkins Burgers says yes. And then Caltrans comes back and says, "No, we can't sell the property to you because you can't just sell property to anybody. You got to do a bid." And they put that in legislation so that nobody could, so that you couldn't just get property to somebody you knew. So that's fine, except when Caltrans went to survey the property, part of the way the property curved, part of the Hawkins Burgers building was on their property, and they sent a notice to Hawkins Burgers and said, you have to tear your building down before you can bid on this property. So Cynthia Hawkins is like, we've been here since 1939. And Caltrans is saying, no, you guys added to this building. It's like, no, we didn't. The only thing we did to this building was put a top on it, but the building has been here as my grandfather built it. And so there's this big fight going on. So we find out about it. I call Toks Amashaken, who's the director of Caltrans, and says, hey, we have a problem. I'm the chairman of the African American Ad Hoc Committee for the Small Business Council. Because of my position and my relationship with Toks Amashaken, we put a halt on it. We're able to figure out a way to circumvent this issue without making it a black issue or a race issue or or an issue that's going to divide us even more than we're already divided. I make it a small business issue.
Yes.
So I get all of the small business owners across the state to stand with Cynthia Hawkins. Guess who owns that property now? That happens because the California Black Chamber is in position to do those types of things.
Very nice.
That's why small businesses should be partnered with the California Black Chamber.
We have a little bit of time left, and I would be remiss. First time that I said that today, but I would be remiss if we did not discuss KDEE, the funkiest station, black-owned in Sacramento. Please share, because I love that station. Tell me you listen to the station. Of course she does.
I've been on it several
Yes,
times.
she has. She's been on with me before.
I have.
So let me just say this.
I've never been on with him.
And you won't be.
Wow. Wow.
Let me just say this to you about KDEE. What makes KDEE such a powerful voice is because it's the people's voice, and because of the information that we put out. Now, what people don't know is KDEE is a 120-watt radio station. That's all. But our message and our power is so electrifying that there can't be another black radio station in Sacramento, because we put them out of business every time. They can be 50,000 watters. You guys have had them. But because of the kind of music we play, but more importantly, because of the kind of information we spread, the kind of voices we have on the radio. I think we're one of the most important radio stations in the whole country, because very few radio stations today have people that are homegrown, community-based, that have conversations that relate to the community and that the community can relate to, because we're so automated now. And it's what makes us special, and it's what makes us powerful and valuable, not just to the community, but to the city and to the state, because of how we speak to the community.
I love the information that they share, and I love your on-air personalities, one of which is here at Flower Square, Lady Charmaine. So we love that, and we love her. But, I mean, it's just, like you say, powerful, the information. The music is wonderful. But to me and to you, the power of the station is the information that can be gotten by listening every day.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. King, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for coming in and gracing us, you know, and teaching Miss Tonya Mack something, because that's always nice, you know. That's always nice, you know. Yes, I learned a little something too, so that's a bonus. Give us 25 words or less. Give us something funky, something cool, anything that you want to share.
Be alive. Wake up in the morning and be alive, and give this thing we call life everything you got.
Cool. And that was Jay King with Club Nouveau. I got to throw it out there, because you always got to throw it out there, all right? And president of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, intelligent fellow, and you can say it, handsome. I can't say it, but you can. It's okay.
My handsome days passed me a long time ago. But, you know, I will tell people, check out Kings in the Morning, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the jkingnetwork.com.
Fantastic.
JAYKING network.com. Or watch me live on Facebook, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a funny show.
And when you watch him, you can always lean
On.
me.
Time in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me, we are not strong, and I'll be your friend. we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me, we are not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long. Times in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me, we